Viva DA, viva!
Viva!
Pambili DA, pambili!
Pambili!
Sanibonani, I'm a Democrat. It's good to be back home, but every time I come home, I have mixed feelings. Because every time I come back to my beautiful city of uMngeni, whenever I come home to this beautiful province, I see it has fallen more and more into disrepair. And it breaks my heart. I began my political career in this city hall behind me. It was a city that was on the move. It was a city that was working. It was a city that was going forward. A city that delivered a world-class soccer World Cup. A city that had positioned itself as the events capital of the country. But just look at it now. Just look at it. This city and this province should be the best province in the entire country. Our beautiful golden beaches, our rolling hills, which the famous son of the soil, Alan Paton, who lived here in Durban and in this province, described as green and rolling and more beautiful than the singing of them. The mighty Drakensberg Mountains, which stand as a sentinel, which should be the hub of tourists coming from all over the world. Our unrivaled game parks up the KwaZulu-Natal north coast should be the envy of the world. But like everything else in South Africa, everything the ANC touches, they have broken. They have broken Durban, they have broken Pietermaritzburg, and they have broken KwaZulu-Natal. But Democrats, we don't stand here today to curse the darkness. No, we come here today on these steps of this mighty city hall to light a candle to show this province that we are ready to liberate it from the hands of the ANC and give power back to the people of this province where it belongs. And we will not sit for one moment longer and watch this ANC government push the people of this province even further down. Those golden beaches are running with sewerage. Our water system is broken. People have been up to 8-10 days without water here in Durban, and down the south coast in places like Ugu, people go up to 30 days without water. People live without electricity. What was broken and damaged and the inability of the state to protect our people during the July unrest remains unfixed. The bridges, the infrastructure washed away in the floods remains unfixed. 17 out of 23 pump stations that are meant to pump sewage in the city are broken and do not work. And as Alan Paton famously said, the tragedy is not that things are broken, the tragedy is that they are never mended. But we're here to send a very clear message to the people of this province, that we are here to fix it, we are here to mend it, and we will not stop until this province is back on top. But to do so is going to take the collective efforts and works of all of us. This wonderful melting pot of cultures in KwaZulu-Natal. It's going to require the best of everybody to stand together, shoulder to shoulder, draw a line in the sand and say so far and no further. We want our province back, we want delivery back, we want jobs, we want an economy that's growing, we want tourists, and we want all of those things and so much more. But the reality is we can have those things and so much more, but we cannot have them with the ANC in government. And that is why it's time to kick them out of office. It's time for a new start for KwaZulu-Natal, and I'm convinced that the candidate that I'll be announcing shortly is just the right person to get things done. How low does a government have to go to not only deprive people of water, to not only take the money that should be spent on the poor, as Zandile Gumede did in the offices right behind here, and take it to buy fancy cars while people literally starve in their homes? How low do you have to go to end up with a municipality that can't even put water in the taps? How low do you have to go to not invest a cent in infrastructure to keep the lights on for the people of this city and this province? While all across the Western Cape, municipalities are working hard to shield their residents from the failures of national government, working hard every single day to make sure that their people are safe. And that's why the Western Cape works. It's why it has the lowest unemployment rate. It's why the crime rate has dropped 14% in priority crimes year on year. It's why people from this province are flocking in great numbers down to the Western Cape. But I have a message for them today. You don't need to come to the Western Cape. There's a much quicker way to get things done and improve your life. And that's by registering, making sure you vote for the DA in the next election, and we will bring the Western Cape to you. We will bring a government led by a Premier that will get up every day and work for the people. We will bring you a government that is clean and accountable and spends the money on the people and not the politicians. We will bring you a government that fixes the sewage treatment works, that restores our beaches to the pristine beaches that should be the envy of the world. We will bring the tourists back into our game parks, into our province, into our mountains, and bring jobs with them. We will keep this CBD going and improving. Look at it. It is a disgrace. That hotel there used to host the glitterati of the world. Look at it today. That post office used to be one of the most treasured buildings in the city. Look at it today. This city hall, this CBD, used to be a buzzing heartbeat of a great province. But look at it today. And just as that clock up there has stopped, so too has the ANC's time in this province run out. But we cannot do it alone. Our Premier candidate will not do it alone. Our team around him will not do it alone. What we require is every single citizen in this province to do something very important, and you can do it today. Make sure you are registered to vote. There are 14 million people in South Africa who are not registered to vote. You can't watch things falling around you like they are in a place like KwaZulu-Natal and say that you are not interested in politics. Because I can tell you the decline is very interested in you. Every time you open your tap and there is no water, the unemployment queues, every time a grant is not paid into your SASSA account, leaving the most vulnerable in our society in absolute poverty, hunger and starvation. That is politics. Every time a crooked politician steals money from you behind us here in City Hall or in Pietermaritzburg, believe you me, that is politics. And so you may not be interested in politics, but if anything, this last few years should have shown you that politics is very interested in you. So I want you all to do one thing today. You can forget about everything I've said. You can discount whatever I have told you today. You can do one thing today. Visit a website. It's called check.da.org.za. And from that website, you can check whether you're registered to vote. And if you are not registered correctly, it can make sure that it directs you to register. Because the power in this next election is going to lie with the registered. So you can complain about the water, you can complain about the decline, you can complain about the sewage on the beaches, you can complain about unemployment, but change isn't going to happen by osmosis. It is an act of the will. and it requires the will of every person in this province to make sure that they unite, stand together, register and vote the ANC out and vote a new government in. And a government that we hope will be led by the dynamic individual I will soon reveal. Also, like Alan Paton, a son of the soil. Somebody who doesn't talk the talk, somebody who walks the walk. Somebody with a track record of getting things done. Because while KwaZulu-Natal lies in ruins, and while the ANC have broken everything, there is one person leading a municipality in this province who's doing the opposite. There is one shining beacon on a hill up there in Howick and Hilton and uMngeni called uMngeni Municipality. And what a shining city on a hill it has become. Hope has returned to uMngeni Municipality. People are getting jobs.
Yeah.
The economy is moving forward.
Yeah.
Even the estate agents now put on the adverts DA-run municipality,
yeah,
because they know that it's always better where the DA is. And none of this would be possible. None of this would be possible unless it was being led by an individual of the highest integrity.
Oh, yes.
A son of our soil who eats, breathes and sleeps his community,
Yeah.
who understands how much you need to show that you care for people. Somebody who is able to transcend race, transcend language barriers, and able to really move South Africans together as one. Because as we all know, South Africa belongs to all who live in it, united in our diversity. And so, as we set forth on this important mission to rescue and liberate this province from the decline and the corruption and the maladministration and the hunger and the suffering that the ANC have brought, we offer up a candidate today who we know can get things done. And so it gives me enormous pleasure and great honour to tell you that the Premier candidate for this party, the Democratic Alliance, in this election, in this great province of KwaZulu-Natal, someone who will restore our glory, is Chris Pappas. Congratulations.